December 1999 saw most of the world preparing for the Y2K bug, because the world was going to end, if you recall, 25 years ago. But me, December 1999 holds a special place in my heart because it was the first time I went into a comic store, like, for realsies. Now remember, I had to search it out. I didn't have the internet, so I think it was my buddy Bryce was like, there's this place here. And I'm from a small town in Saskatchewan. I had to drive an hour to get to a comic store, and we went to this 8th Street Comics and Books in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I think it still exists. Very different, but it was my first time in a comic store, and the world opened up to me, and my life changed forever. That said, as it was an exciting month for me, it wasn't that exciting in the world of comics. There were not many #1 issues of note, but there were Wicked and Blaze of Glory for Marvel, though DC would put out several Millennium editions of classic books. What beat Superman this month? And honestly, this is probably the end of this whole segment. Nightwing beat Superman this month. Nightwing beats Superman every month. I talked about it last month. Nightwing kicked ass. What can I say? The spotlight for this month is Superman vs. Terminator, Death to the Future. It's Superman versus the Terminator. Like, it should be really good, but these crossovers often have a way of not being as good as you feel they should be. Though this one does have Superman travel to the Terminator future of 2032, which is only 7 years away. Anyway, let's close out this year with the top 10 from December 1999. The top 10 comics were: number 10, Peter Parker Spider-Man number 14. Spidey deals with the apparent death of Mary Jane in the best way possible, by fighting the Hulk. Number 9 has a second Spider-Man title with Amazing Spider-Man number 14. Spider-Man and Spider-Woman team up to fight the other Spider-Woman. Which I will say, these are actually both in the top 10 due to Daredevil and Earth X not shipping this month. Number 8 has Uncanny X-Men Annual 1999. This annual seems like it'd be the perfect place to wrap up all the loose ends from Apocalypse the 12 and kind of close out that storyline, forcing people to buy it, but no. It was just a generic X-Men annual title. Thought that was a missed opportunity. Number 7 has Spawn number 93, which I did not read then or now. Number 6 has JLA number 38 with World War III continuing. Number 5 sees Wolverine number 147. Now this book I actually bought back in the day based off of the cover alone. It's my boy Angel fighting Wolverine, and it's a really good story because Angel was death for Apocalypse back in the 80s. Wolverine is death for Apocalypse now, and they're both kind of talking to each other and coming to terms with how they do it. They fight also. Angel gets a W over Wolverine, which is always awesome. And they deal with other stuff. It's actually a really good issue. I think you should check it out. And then that cover was actually, for years, I planned to get a big tattoo of it across my bicep. That never happened, and it's probably for the best, but yeah. So my first trip into the comic store is when I started buying Wolverine titles. Just because of that cover alone, and Angel. I'm always a sucker for Angel. The number 4 spot has Avengers number 25, seeing Juggernaut on trial by the other avatars of obscure gods, and then Captain America quits the team. Number 3 has Tomb Raider issue number 2. It's a more wet and wild adventures of Lara Croft. Uncanny X-Men number 377 is in the number 2 spot, while X-Men moves to the number 1 spot with X-Men 97. The 12 wraps up as Cyclops sacrifices himself to prevent Apocalypse from merging with X-Men, thus saving the world. And as I said, this was when I got into it. These had amazing covers. I bought these. I jumped right into Apocalypse the 12. The issues from the month before, X-Men 96 and 376, they weren't available. So I just bought these ones right in the middle of the storyline Apocalypse the 12. And I remember specifically my buddy was like asking the guy, like, when do trade paperbacks ever come out? And this is kind of, trade paperbacks were still a bit of a new thing at the time. I don't think a collected edition for the 12 ever came out right away in that time, but I've since read them online. I think I bought the issues. I no longer have them, but these were the first X-Men comics I bought. January 2000 is right around the corner, and 2000 was the year where I started going to the comic store every month, or if not more. By the end of 2000, I moved to a bigger city and was able to start going week to week. So if you enjoy this series, like, just wait, because my stories are going to get more and more personal as the time goes on. So I really like this series. I'm sorry I took the hiatus I did for the time I did. Didn't mean to, it just happened. I look forward to sharing more of my personal stories with you guys in the future and reading some of yours as well in the comments below after you hit the like button on this video. Anyway, look for January 2000 coming. I'm going to change the format a little bit, see if I can tweak things here or there. If you have any comments on how I can tweak things and what you'd like to see, let me know down below. But I'm looking forward to bringing this series into the new millennium. 25 years ago, comics, what was going on? I'm Haas. Been forgetting to mention that while I filmed all these catch-up issues. I mentioned my name like 3 times. That was the 3rd time right there. Anyway, stay Hossy, my loyal hostages, and I'll catch you around. Check all my videos out because they're all great.